See, I was going to talk about your girl, but instead, let me tell you about Bernard's girl.
All right, tell me about Bernard's girl.
This girl was so stupid, I told her to go out and give me some head and shoulders. She got on my shoulders and gave me head.
Oh, yeah?
That ain't funny.
Oh, man.
Bernard is like a tall... when Bernard stands up, he looks like a tall testicle.
With that bald head of his, we can take him down to the pier and help the ships come in.
His mother's so nasty, she bathes with tartar-controlled soap.
Your mother likes one bald head of mine.
Yeah. Well, Bernard, your teeth are so yellow, if you close your mouth, your stomach will light up.
Your mother's so fat, the back of her neck looks like a pack of Franks.
Bernard's father is so cheap, he doesn't make deposits in the sperm bank, he keeps it in his mattress.
At least I know who my father is.
Right. Bernard's so stupid, he thought manual labor was a Puerto Rican.
And his mother is so nasty, she went to bed with sheets with little white angels. Yeah. When she woke up, they were little black Muslims.
Monteria's so stupid he thinks the Mount Rushmore is the result of natural erosion.
Let's not even talk about Bernard, which, by the way, I listen to the show regularly, okay? And you still do all your black voices like buckwheat, like Mayor Barry.
Hi, Alfalfa.
Stephan's so stupid he thinks E equals MC squared is a rap group.
Your mother's so drunk, she has Wild Irish Rose lifesavers.
That's cold.
It is 32 after the hour. And we're talking with Stephan Dweck and Monteria Ivey. Their new book is called Baby All Those Curves That Me With No Brakes. It is published by Hyperion. And when you go to the bookstore, they often have it on display right at the cash registers. You know that?
Yeah.
And so it's a funny Valentine's Day gift. And there are lines in it like, for example, lines that get you noticed. Give me an example of that.
Like, hey girl, how about letting my Mr. Goodbar get with your Milky Way?
Oh,
and she responded, why? So we can have a baby Ruth you won't claim as yours?
I'm like, girl, I want to die and come back as your gene so I can wear your ass out. I mean, these are good. These icebreakers.
These are stupid.
Yeah,
that's what these are.
These are the best and the worst of the pickup lines, Imus. And this is just to break the ice to meet women. This is not the end all.
I remember now. You see, you guys did explain that to me.
And we're not like these people out here talking about what planet men or women are from. We're from the same planet trying to get some, and we're just trying to tell you how to do it. You know, you gotta, men aren't from, Mars and women from Venus?
Give me a line that
guy's from Pluto.
Clinton would use, Monty.
Oh, yeah, give me a line Clinton would use.
You the banger.
Ask not what you can do for your country, but how deep is your throat? No, I
know, right? Well, I heard he called Johnny Cochran, and Johnny told him, it's not a sin if it don't go in.
Jesus, more just disgraceful. What's a drive-by line? Give me a drive-by line.
You know, like, hi, my name's Bernard. Remember it, because you'll be screaming it later tonight.
How about for Bill Clinton, Memorial Day is like Father's Day in Harlem.
Bernard's mother's so nasty, she's a topless dancer at Subway.
Oh, no. You're not going to take that, are you?
She's so old, she wears Confederate underwear.
I don't mean to laugh, Bernard. But it's 26 till the hour, and I'm Mr. Wayman Top Mo with these knuckleheads. One is coming up with sports, and then more of Stephan Dweck and Monteria Ivey. God, can I say their names?
Yes, right? You can.
Stephan Dweck and Monteria Ivey.
We always think we're two white guys when we walk in the room, right? Stephan Dweck and Monteria Ivey.
And they say, hi, you two are early.
It's coming up on 25 till the hour. More of Baby All Those Curves and Me With No Brakes coming up.
I flopped down in my easy chair and turned on channel 2. A bad gunslinger called Salty Sam was a chasing post-sweet Sue. He trapped her in the old sawmill and said with an evil laugh,
if you don't give me the key to your ranch, I'll saw you all in half.
And then he grabbed her. And then he tied her up. And then he turned on the buzzsaw. And then a long day. Imus in the morning.
In the morning in 2020 sports. Let the wolf go forth at this time and place. Here's Warner.
Did you say water?
You bastard.
Good morning, Warner.
Good morning. Thank you, man.
Could you tell whether that was me? Or?
Yeah, it's terrible, man. That's
It is terrible?
Yeah.
It doesn't sound
That's
good?
weak. Lame.
Oh,
Yeah.
All right, do it again.
There's nothing like the real thing.
Oh, yeah, but I mean, people can't tell, can they?
Oh,
Yeah, of course they can.
Oh, they can tell.
Yeah, it's not working, I mean.
No.
How about if I let Monteria and Stephan introduce you?
Sure.
All right, play the thing and then, well, no, you guys just introduce him.
Now it's time for Imus in the Morning Sports. The
Maybe we-
man who's big in the hood.
Hang on a second.
Maybe we better.
How hard is it? How hard is a little redheaded weasel face?
No, it's Laurie's mic. That's why.
Laurie's an idiot.
Now it's back.
Yeah,
Don't
you're
blame
fine.
this on Laurie.
No, it's not Laurie's fault. It just happens to be switched. That's all. Now
okay.
it's okay.
All right.
All right, here's Stephan and Monteria now, introducing Warner Wolf. Go ahead, guys.
Time for Imus in the Morning Sports with that blue-eyed soul brother direct from Harlem, Warner Wolf.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen.
Warner Wolf.
Hey. Do you believe in miracles?
Yeah.
No. The U.S. ice hockey team lost to Sweden 4-2.
man.
What? That's right.
Check those sweets with drugs.
29 saves for Swedish goalie Tommy Salo. Here's CBS radio sportsman Gary Cohen.
Here's Anderson coming through center to the U.S. line. Michael Anderson waiting. Lead for Sundin. He's in alone. He shoots. He scores! Matt Sundin beat Richter with a backhander. And Sweden leads it 4-2.
And that was it. Canada beat Belarus 5-0. 19 saves in the shutout Patrick Waugh. Well, we finally had downhill skiing yesterday. How about that? Won by France's Jean-Luc Creite after a week's delay because of snow. Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
How do you delay skiing because of snow?
Well.
I mean, what do they want? Rain? That's like saying there's no baseball because the sun's out.
Absolutely.
Or there's no swimming because there's water in the pool. There's no hockey because there's ice in the ring.
I think you've made your
Come
point,
on.
Warner.
Skiing is a winter sport.
I'll give you
Right?
$100 if you can tell me exactly what his time was. Don't look
Whose
at your
time?
pen. Look at the ski guy, just a French guy.
You win.
150.11.
Hockey team. All right, I'm
Okay.
In case you missed it, Canadian snowboard gold medal winner Ross Rebelliata. Remember he was disqualified because of marijuana?
Sure.
It was a setup.
That's right. Had his medal returned last night following an appeal. Said he hadn't smoked pot since last April and was a victim of secondary smoke at a party 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Here's a grateful Rebelliata.
I occasionally used marijuana. It wasn't something that ruled any part of my life whatsoever. It was a social activity.
Social activity.
There you go.
Do you guys have headphones, Stephan?
Yeah.
Okay, and you don't. You can wear Warner's in a minute. You got to hear what's going on. Go ahead, Warner. I'm very sorry.
It's all right. Men's curling, the U.S. beat Britain
it was all
6-3. However, the win may be tainted.
Why?
The elite broom sweeper for the U.S. has been checked for steroids.
Oh, man.
Come on.
Where did they come up with these different sports, Warner?
That's right.
You know, white people so upset that we took over basketball? We got to sweep ice?
That's a good point.
That's right. Who cares?
That's what
Who
we're
cares
doing.
about curling?
We're sweeping ice.
That's right.
Man, that's weak, isn't it?
Shuffleboard on ice.
Oh,
Who
man,
cares?
that is weak.
Warner continued.
That's good. That's good.
That's very good.
Japan beat Germany 7-5. A special microphone was attached to the Japanese sweeper. 49ers tore up Steve Young's 6-year, $45 million contract.
I thought we told you to stay out of the production studio.
Replaced with a 6-year, $49 million contract.
Oh, that's great.
Question is, what can't you do with $45 million that you can do with $49 million?
I don't know.
Huh?
Hide a dream team.
NBA Portland Trailblazers
Gotta
beat
get
the
to the
Suns
end there.
last night. The Blazers' Isaiah Ryder sat out the game after being suspended one game without pay for walking out of Tuesday night's game against the Lakers because he said the Blazer fans booed him. Oh, wow.
Grow up.
Can you imagine that, fans booing a player? I mean, what's the world coming to? Guy's making $4 million, they're booing him, and he walks out. I mean, if all the athletes who were ever booed walked out, we wouldn't have sports.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah.
Denver's one-game winning streak is over. losing to the Kings 87-84. Nuggets dropped to 5-43. Golden State's 8-39. Dallas is 9-40. Together, they have a record of 22 wins and 122 losses. 100 more losses than wins.
Jeez. But they still have a shot at the playoffs.
That's right. Because everybody's in the playoffs. And finally,
my God,
that Nets-Orlando-Toronto trade is apparently off.
Damn.
That's right. The only thing holding it up, the Nets' Kendall Gill refused to go to Toronto, Orlando's Penny Hardaway refused to go to New Jersey, and Toronto's Damon Stoudemire refused to go to Orlando. Wow. Otherwise, it was a done deal. For Imus of the Morning Sports, this is Warner.
Well, Ryan Warner, 14 till the hour here on the Imus of the Morning program. We are talking with Stephan Dweck and Monteria Ivey. Their new book called Baby All Those Curves and Me With No Brakes. And over 500 new no-fail pickup lines.
Well, all right.
For men and women. It's published by Hyperion. Big-time publisher means it's available at bookstores everywhere. Yeah. Not a chump publisher, as you would expect, looking with a dreadful book like this.
And we're not selling them out of our trunk. But we will.
Coming in,
if need be.
Coming in 3 or 4 months or so from Doubleday, the Fred book. My brother's book that Mike Lupica and my brother wrote. Actually, Lupica wrote it, didn't he, Fred?
Yes, he did.
Yeah. He interviewed you, and then he wrote it?
Yes, he did. That's how it worked.
My brother's single, right, Fred?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we're not counting there's sheep there. Do you have any pickup lines you use, Fred?
Can you break 100?
There you go. That's great.
Oh, man. Anyway, 13 till the hour here on the Imus in the Morning program. What are phone lines, you guys?
Lines that you use on the telephone for those late night booty calls, man. You know, it's late and you trying to get over to the house and you say, hey, girl, let me come over there because if your ass was a table, I'd lay my drink on you.
I don't think we need to get vulgar here, do we, Charles?
Absolutely not. Really?
What are you thinking about?
Well, you might say, hey,
all innuendo.
It's 12 minutes till the hour here on the Imus in the Morning program. Fred.
Yes.
Where do you meet women?
Well,
I guess they come in the store there, right?
Yeah.
Well, you mosey down to the trailer park lot.
They start out as customers, yeah. That's how it works.
They start out as customers, and then you start out as then you end up a customer.
There's been a dry spell, though, you know. There's been a little dry spell here lately.
Well, there has.
Yeah, there's been not many tourists out here.
Well. So I mentioned earlier, my brother's appearing on behalf of your Tri-State Jeep and Eagle. I just got one of those.
Yeah, we know you did.
New 5.9 Limiteds.
Man.
You know, they put it's like a supercharger in it.
Yeah.
But it's not a supercharger. It's just a more powerful engine, right?
Yeah, that's all it is.
Okay.
It's a 5.9.
It will go from 0 to 60 in 6 seconds.
Wow.
It's got these new hood louvers and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, cool.
Anyway, these people sponsor my brother's appearances. My brother makes sports picks, right, friend?
Where are you going and that you have to go 0 to 60 somewhere? You get a hot dog?
I hear those trucks are very popular in Bogota.
Well, no, but I mean, like if you're getting on a freeway, interstate or something.
I bet you haven't got 10 miles on that Jeep.
No, I do. I have a couple hundred miles on it. So.
You do?
Yeah. What's your pick this week?
Earnhart's going to win the Daytona 500.
You know what he's talking about?
His sports lock of the week.
Yeah. No, but I mean,
Daytona 500 race car.
Oh, okay.
Sure.
Well, so
I occasionally, black people watch that sometime, on my way to the basketball
game.
Ain't
no brothers driving NASCARs, is there? Are there?
Nah, they just.
we don't like those
Cleaning
flags.
the windshield.
I was gonna say.
Hey, Fred?
Stealing them?
Yeah.
We don't like those flags.
I didn't say that. Fred and Jordan will be down here trying to give me a job.
Hey, hey, Fred. Are there any African American drivers in NASCAR?
No.
Oh, okay.
But I think Walter Payton's involved in ownership of an Indy car, though.
Oh, okay. Well, that's sort of...
There you go.
But that's not NASCAR, though.
It's integrated.
It's not really integrated, so... But
There's
why
a lot of black rodeo riders, though, you know?
Yeah, did you guys know that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Black Rodeo comes to Harlem every year.
Some of them, really?
Mm-hmm.
Some of them pretty good cowboys.
Some of the great bronc riders have been blacks, by the way.
Hey, by the way, the world champion was an Italian guy from, what was that guy's name, the Italian guy from Brooklyn?
Tony.
John Gotti.
Ba-da-boom.
Well, you're just an idiot, Fred. Is the Daytona 500 this Sunday, Fred?
Yes, it is.
Oh, okay.
Of course, you'd never know that by listening to Warner. He wants to talk about some basketball trade that nobody cares about.
I know. Warner should.
I mean, he's got to get with the program.
The largest spectator sport in the country is.
They'll have 500,000 people in Daytona.
Yeah, I understand that.
And they'll have 20,000 at the Knicks game. You know, with the tickets, $150 a piece.
Yeah. Right.
Fred, why don't you say what you really feel?
Yeah. It is 9 minutes till the hour here on the Imus Morning program. I'm urging you all to go out and buy a copy of Baby All Those Curves and Me with No Brakes from Stephan Dweck and Monteria Ivy. It's over 500 new no-fail pickup lines for the men's and the women's. Now, some of them we can't read on the air, but some of them actually are. A lot of them are stupid, but a lot of them are actually laugh-out-loud funny, published by Hyperion. It's like their 5th or 6th book. We'll get back to them in a second, but now...
Are you going to be this enthusiastic about me and Lupica's book?
No, your book sucks. I've already seen it. You're now over from the Archdiocese on the Imus in the Morning program. You don't call your brother an old wrinkled prune, you bald-headed stooge.
I got some hold of you can get enthusiastic about.
You're now over from the Archdiocese on the Imus in the Morning program. John Cardinal O'Connor. Good morning, Cardinal O'Connor.
Good morning, God bless. Let's get this time, Mr. Marr.
Yeah.
What do you get when you give a janitor a typewriter?
I don't know.
Book by Monteria Ivy and Stephan Dweck. I tell you that, just fuck you.
Okay, Cardinal.
You read any good little boys lately?
Somebody spilled some coffee over here. Would you get in, fella?
That'll be fine.
Let me ask you this, McCard. Where were you yesterday?
I was ill.
You swallowed something that disagreed with you?
As a matter of fact, I did.
Schmuck, you be Jesus. Let me just say this to Monica Lewinsky's mother, Mr. Marr.
Yeah.
Good job of parenting. Raising that chubby little tramp, be Jesus. Spare the rod, spoil the child. Apparently Bill Clinton's philosophy, be Jesus. God help America. Well, with this country applauding and obsessed with the presidential sex, to the exclusion of all else, it's no wonder the Nagano Olympics are suffering, Mr. Marr.
Yeah.
Forget adding new events like women's hockey and snowboarding. You want this public's attention, you better throw in some cockfighting, be Jesus, some damn thing. Albert in the broadcast booth. I'll tell you that, Mr. Marr.
That'll be fine.
Let me just say this about Olympic snowboarders using marijuana.
How about some numbers?
At least unlike the men's figure skaters, the joints they smoke aren't dangling between their teammates' legs, be Jesus. I'll tell you that. The winning numbers in the New York State Lottery is as follows.
All right, what are they?
Congratulations to Patrick Ewing on his new little white bitch.
Come on.
Here's a spectator sport.
Apparently Mike Breen will get a little rest. Run ahead, fellas. Speak up. Get your 15 minutes. Before you get back to the mop. Come
on, Cardinal O'Connor.
Cardinal.
Good to see Anthony Mason going strong to the hole back in the basketball court the other night, Mr. Marr.
Yeah.
Reinforcing America's old perception of the NBA as the National Burglars Association. You understand? Boston Celtic coach Rick Pitino looking to sign Latrell Sprewell.
Yeah.
And he wants to change the name of the Boston Celtics to the Boston Stranglers, be Jesus. What the hell's up with that?
That's right. Boo.
The hell are you looking at?
You got to pick the pace up here, Cardinal.
Pick this up. Bitches are belong and why?
Oh, I love this part.
Why?
Bitches are belong and why?
All right.
A. Robin Quivers. B. Vanessa Williams. C. Tyra Branks. Which does belong and why?
I would say Robin Quivers.
Sure. Right you are, Pizza Puss, be Jesus. While all three are sisters whose naked pictures can be downloaded on the web.
Yeah.
Really?
The answer is A. Robin Quivers doesn't belong because unlike the other two, the website with Robin's picture is at www.nationalgeographic.com. Someone who looks like her.
John Cardinal O'Connor here on the Imus in the Morning program. Stephan Dweck and Monteria Ivy have got a brand new book to talk to them about this morning called Baby All Those Curves and Me with No Brakes. You guys, are you going on a book tour? Or
we're in a whole new profession.
What's that?
We're writing movies now.
Yeah, we're writing movies.
You are?
Yeah, we
we're
wrote a movie
screenwriters.
for Miramax about a black hockey team in Harlem.
Going into production in June.
You're kidding.
With Reggie Hudlin.
Reggie Hudlin's going to be the director. They're not going to use our title, though. We wanted to call it Puck You.
Black slap shot.
Oh, well, congratulations.
They were doing a new movie now, writing a new movie for Paramount.
For Paramount
called The
Pictures.
Williams Family.
Really?
Yeah.
They were doing it for Eddie Murphy's company, yeah.
Well, you won't even talk to us a year from now.
No, I
We'll still talk to Bernard, who sounds a lot like the Cardinal.
Well, when the movie's out, come back, will you?
Sure.
Congratulations to both of you.
Which doesn't belong in white.
Monteria Ivey and Stephan Dweck. Maybe all those curves and me with no breaks. Here, the Imus Morning program is coming up on 4 minutes till the hour.
Now wait a minute. Imus in the morning.
98.1.
Anybody can take a mutt to a dog show and lose.
Not to the Westminster Dog Show.
What is that? Sounds to me like McCord don't think this dog measures up. Is that what happened to the other dog? That dog didn't measure up, so they put it to sleep?
Well, I don't know, but my point is,
he's elderly.
it has to be.
If this dog don't win, is he going to meet the same fate as the other dog?
Yeah, you're going to kill this dog off?
You're going to kill this dog, too, until you get a dog that does win? There needs to be an investigation here of some kind.
We need to call the PTA on this one, or the AS.
It's Kenneth Starr. He's a
absolutely.
He's another frivolous case.
He might as well investigate McCord's dog. This sex case has got as much to do with Whitewater as McCord's dog does.
And you know, that's a very good point, man.
He'd just be looking into another situation with another dog.
He got three of them. Kenneth Starr's got three of them.
And instead of licking the president, this dog licks himself. So it's coming up on 7 minutes past the hour. Isn't that right?
A good point, man. Yeah.
Hey, Fred.
Yes.
Did you see that picture of Jeffrey Katzenberg in Time Magazine?
No.
Hang up on Fred, please.
Get out. Yeah, right
just hang
now.
up on him.
Just go click.
Just explain to me about it.
No, I'm not going to explain to you. But, I mean, that's just ridiculous.
No, that's unbelievable.
We've been talking about this thing for a week on this program, and you don't know about it?
Disgraceful.
Have you even heard us talking about it?
What?
Oh, well, that's ridiculous. See ya. Well, I'll talk to you later. God, that's irritating.
Stay black.
I mean, how, Fred?
Yes.
Why wouldn't you pay enough attention to the program to have some idea what the hell we're talking about? You haven't heard us talk about this at all.
I like them song parodies.
7 minutes after the hour. It's time for the news.
I listen to the song parodies in General Patton.
That's just stupid. Isn't it? That's
Frustrating
irritating.
the eye man.
Jeez.
Well, what's the point? Go ahead, do the news.
Well, now you're upset.
Well, no, but I mean, that's inexcusable. Not to have any idea what's going on in the program. Why be on the program then?
He listens to the song parody.
Oh, God.
I like the song parodies. I like General Patton. I
Hang
like
up.
the guest you have.
Hang up.
I don't care about a picture of Katzenberg in Time Magazine.
Did you hear Walter Cronkite this week?
Yeah, I did.
Talking about Katzenberg.
Yes, I did.
Did you have any idea what he was talking about?
No. I was listening to it because I was waiting for General Patton to come up. And then I was waiting for another song parody.
Oh, man.
Do the news, Charles.
Yes, sir, man. New information regarding Iraq,
Oh, what is it?
Are you interested in it at all
Yes.
now? Iraq has developed a new missile.
Great.
An Arab newspaper today.
Could they target the Auto Body Express in Santa Fe, New
Unfortunately,
Mexico?
its range will not allow it to reach that far. It quotes a top Iraqi official as saying the new weapon has a range of 90 miles, which is the maximum allowed under a UN weapons ban. It could not reach Israel, but it could strike much of Kuwait. They offered no other
Great,
details.
man. That is the best news I've ever heard.
What do you mean?
That they have a missile that could go into Kuwait.
Well, I have to agree with him there. I do have to agree with
Let's help him use it.
You know, here's the thing about my brother. If he had an employee who paid as much attention to the stuff at the Auto Body Express as my brother pays to this program, he'd fire him. He never comes prepared. He never makes any effort at all. He has no idea what's going on.
I don't know about a picture in Time Magazine, for God's sakes.
We've been talking about it all week, you idiot. Go ahead, Charles.
Press Secretary Mike McCurry says, meantime, diplomatic efforts to resolve the standoff are nearing an end, And he says military action could be weeks, maybe even simply days away. And adding fuel to everything, this maverick Russian politician, Vladimir Zhirinovsky, remember him?
Sure, of course I do.
He's now in Baghdad to, quote, help negotiate his own end to the standoff over weapons inspections.
You know, my brother doesn't listen to the show
this is
on
not gonna end.
the radio station in Albuquerque. You know what he does?
What?
He watches it on MSNBC.
Yeah.
How many times do you think MSNBC has put up that photograph of Katzenberg and Al Gore?
A lot.
10 times?
A lot.
Russert came in with graphics to respond to it.
Did you see Russert this morning, Fred?
Yes, I did.
Did you were you watching MSNBC?
I saw the photograph.
Well, then why didn't you say that?
I don't know. I was waiting for General Patton to come up. I was waiting for another song parody, man. Them are great. Sometimes you miss stuff. I don't catch everything.
Right. There's so much going on, right, Fred? That
There's so much going on. Got the Daytona 500, got this Kenneth Starr deal, got the Iraq deal. I mean, my little brain cannot handle all of it. I just can't. There's not room for Katzenberg in my brain.
If you think Baby, All Those Curves, and Me with No Brakes,
right,
by Stephan Dweck and Monteria Ivy is a stupid book, you wait till they publish the Fred book with my brother and Mike Lupica. You talk about a stupid book. Oh, God. Dreadful.
Bell curve.
No, I'll tell you. I've been on I haven't watched much news the past week.
Yeah.
Because this whole Kenneth Starr deal, and it's just I've had enough, and so I've basically turned off the news.
That's no excuse to be ill-informed. It's 11 after the hour, and I am Imus in the morning. Well, I talked to Katzenberg yesterday.
Right.
For far too long. A 19-minute phone call with Katzenberg, and I've probably spoken to him over the past 20 years about 100 times, and it's never been more than 2 or 3 minutes. But he called me yesterday, tracked me down. You know what number he called on, Fred?
No, but I'll tell you one thing. I want you to go to the Daytona 500 where there'll probably be 500,000 people and find one of them that knows who...
You ain't nothing but a hound. Imus in the morning.
You want me to produce your war? Not a war, it's a pageant. Newsweek calls Wag the Dog the most wickedly entertaining movie of the season. Fantastic. And Rolling Stone calls it outrageous fun.
There is no war.
Of course there's a war. I'm watching it on television. Nominated for 2 Academy Awards. When it's cooking, it's cooking. Including Best Actor Dustin Hoffman. What could I do to top this? Dustin Hoffman, Robert De Niro. You're the man. Wag the Dog. Rated R. Under 17. Not admitted without parent. Now playing.
Introducing the Stars Movie Channel theme song.
Pat might say, Sugar Bill. Ape of General Patton. Well, here's the thing about Paul Begala, and has nothing to do with Bill Clinton, is I will always be loyal to them.
It has to do with Paul Begala.
It has to do with Paul Begala and James Carville.
You betcha.
So
Begala's their best point man,
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Made sense to put him out there. Because when you had him on, I mean, he didn't say anything, denied everything. But after it was done, I said, well, yeah. Sounds okay to me.
Yeah.
He has that kind of personality, can run that by you and not be offensive about it.
He didn't answer one of Ken Starr's questions. I mean, Tim Russ's questions.
Yeah. And I was
hopefully he'll get to answer some of Ken Starr's questions. So here's the thing you don't understand, Fred.
No, here's the thing I do understand.
No, and just let me talk.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Try to listen. Try to pretend like it's a conversation.
Turn the sound
Pay
up.
attention, stupid.
Pay attention, stupid. That's right, Bernard. There is not one person at the Daytona 500 who is listening to this program. They've got a Brooks and Dunn tape in their pickup. That's what they're listening to.
Why do I get these letters all the time? They want us to sponsor a race car.
Because
somebody's listening.
Because they know that we're rich.
They want us to make salsa for some race driver. I get those letters all the time, so somebody's listening.
Because they send money to anybody who they think has any money.
Exactly.
To try to get them to put up money for one of those stupid NASCARs.
Well, everybody comes in the store and watches those NASCAR races, so that's a big part of your audience.
So Katzenberg calls me yesterday, and I talked to him, and I looked at my watch for 19 minutes.
It's maybe the longest telephone call he's ever made.
Other than the one when he called Eisner and informed him he was suing him. Which Katzenberg, by the way, won that lawsuit. Did you know that? Mm-hmm. Yeah, they settled that.
Yeah.
So Jeffrey calls trying to explain this photograph in Time magazine. And he explained it in the following. Like, are you listening to this?
You talking to me?
Yes, and Charles.
Oh, yeah.
And Lou and Bernard.
Yeah, sure.
All of y'all.
And
talking to me?
I'm trying to make it, I'll try to be brief. And not take 19 minutes.
Yeah, but it's tough to do because it's...
But
go ahead.
The photograph is a photograph of Katzenberg standing behind Al Gore, leaning against Al Gore's back with his cheek pressed against Al Gore's back, with this dopey grin on his face, and he looks frankly like he's hugging Al Gore.
Yes, he sure does.
And standing also in the room is Hillary Clinton and Elton John and some stooge who we can't identify.
Unidentified stooge.
Curly.
And Elton John is pointing at Katzenberg, or it looks like the vice president. Well, here's what Katzenberg says happened. Says he arranged the entertainment at the White House. He got Elton John because of Tony Blair was going to be there for that big dinner, and he got Stevie Wonder. And here's what Katzenberg told me. I swear to God, he said this. He said, we wanted to rock the White House.
Shut up. Please.
And we're startled that you didn't hang up on him then.
I should have hung up on him then.
Yes, you should have.
You know what number he called on, Fred?
No.
The chump line.
Well, I'm sure he did, but I mean...
That's the number I gave him.
Was Al Gore smiling when he was standing behind him?
Yes.
Yes, very much so.
So here's what Katzenberg claims happened. He claims that in a conversation with Elton John, he had mentioned to Elton that he wanted Elton to see the new DreamWorks animation flick, The Prince of Egypt, because there was a song in it that he wanted Elton to record, even though he knows Elton doesn't do cover records. Elton said, I'm not interested in doing that. However, he's working on another DreamWorks movie for Katzenberg. So apparently Katzenberg told Hillary Clinton and Al Gore and others that Elton John was in fact going to sing this song from The Prince of Egypt. Or they got confused.
Probably confused between the two projects.
At least he told them that Elton was working on some DreamWorks flick, and they know The Prince of Egypt is coming out, and so they probably got confused.
But two and two.
So they walk in the room, they're waiting for Stevie Wonder to show up. Stevie's walking around outside trying to find the gate.
Yeah.
Bumping into trees and stuff.
That's very nice.
Yeah, I get it now.
Very sensitive.
All right. So Hillary Clinton says to Elton John, I hear you're going to do a song from The Prince of Egypt. And Elton looks at Katzenberg and says, what are you, nuts? What'd you do? You know.
Why'd you say that
Why
to
did
her?
you tell her that?
Yeah.
And Katzenberg says, well, you know, some kind of... And then in comes Gore. And Gore says hi to everybody. And the first thing Gore says to Elton John is, and Katzenberg is standing behind Gore, the first thing Gore says to Elton John is, hey, I hear you're doing a song from The Prince of Egypt. And so at that point, Elton's pointing his finger at Katzenberg and saying, what are you? You are the biggest schemer on the planet, trying to get the vice president to pitch me on a song deal. And so at that point, Katzenberg then is hiding behind Gore.
And took hold of him.
And is saying, go ahead and, encouraging Gore to continue to pitch out. So that's the picture. Well, I mean, it's...
And that's when the shutter clicked at that unfortunate moment. That is Katzenberg's story.
That's Katzenberg's story.
Which we
I'm
referred
bummed
to...
out. I missed all this during the week. Am I bummed out?
I didn't say it was a funny story.
If you had seen the photograph...
But Katzenberg, let me just say this for him. He is not a wife-swapping, dope-smoking, phony Hollywood weasel.
Running around with a big fat stogie.
Yeah, I guess he's a little tough to deal with. We don't deal with him, nor would we ever, but...
So he's tough.
But he's not, he's like Deirdre asked me, she said, well, is he a phony? I said, no, I don't think he is.
No.
He sounds just like he did 25 years ago. He's a nice guy.
Yes, he is.
He's a decent person. In a town full of just dreadful people.
Tinsel.
So let me see if I understand this.
Yeah.
We're about to go to war with Iraq, and the vice president's trying to pitch a song to Elton John.
That's essentially it, yes.
So I'm missing something here.
Good morning, Joe.
Hey, man.
You want to go to that NBA All-Star game, don't you?
Absolutely.
How much will you bid?
Well, if you're going to run with the big dogs, you got to get up the porch, so I'll bid $7,000.
You got the tickets.
You're the man.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a banker.
No kidding. So not even going to be your money, is it, baby?
No, this is my money, man.
Joe, thank you very much.
Say hi to McDougal.
All of the money.
If your radio sounds funny in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the morning.
From 60 Minutes, Mike Wallace. Good morning, Mr. Wallace.
Good morning, Mr. Imus.
I talked to two 60 Minutes correspondents recently, Ed Bradley and Steve Croft. And they both told me that there are periods of time over there when they refuse to talk to you.
No, it's the other way around.
It is?
Believe me, they're fine. Croft is a fine young man. There's nobody better than Bradley.
Wasn't some racial thing? You didn't call Bradley some name, did you?
Who, me?
I'm just kidding.
98.1 The Peak, WPEK.
Wow, hearts, flowers, Valentine candy. This place looks like the tunnel of love.
Well, February is.
How's it going? I'm in.
Deidre?
Yeah.
Stop talking like that. I didn't know if it was her or not. Hey, honey.
Well, that's how I talk to you at home, don't I?
Yeah. Honey?
Yes.
Wasn't the show great yesterday, even though Charles wasn't here?
I thought that was your best show. One of your best shows ever.
Well, I rest my case.
I mean, absolutely, unequivocally, just a smashing show.
Could you tell that was not Rob in the patent thing with Larry?
Actually, no, to be honest with you.
Hear that, Rob?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Hi, Deirdre.
Hey, Rob, what's up?
No, what are you doing?
That'll be fine, honey. We don't need
I'm getting chubby.
That'll be fine.
How's that working out for you?
It's 23 till the hour.
I
Here.
don't understand why I'm getting too chubby.
I don't either, honey. Maybe you're
neither can I.
Maybe you're eating too much. Hey,
You're bringing too much chocolate home for me.
Did you hear these Stephan Dweck and Monteria Ivy?
I love Monteria and Dweck. They're just hilarious.
Okay, what if I'd have said some of these lines to you when we met? Baby, well, this one.
What?
Baby, if you was my rice and beans, I'd eat every grease spot.
Grandpa, will you marry me?
Girl, you so fine, you make me want to run through the woods buck naked just to get a smile.
Actually, all of the lines I think are pretty cute. I mean, they're innocent to me.
Here's one that would go because
they're completely innocent.
Because you do have a nice butt, you know.
Oh,
Yeah. If looks could kill, your ass would have been a dead long time ago.
Pretty smooth.
Anyway, so what else you doing?
Me?
Yeah. Do you have some housework to do or something?
Yeah, I've been doing it all morning.
Get busy then.
I start after you leave the house at 4:30 or 5.
With that vacuum cleaner?
Well, the vacuum and you're mopping and doing the windows and.
Hey, Fred.
Yes.
Did I tell you the day that I was downstairs and I had to vacuum something out of one of my laser printers? And I got the vacuum cleaner out and I called Deirdre and she came downstairs and didn't know how to turn it on.
What are you laughing at, Fred?
That's scary.
Do you know how to use your
Because I have a
vacuum?
maid that doesn't know how to turn it on.
You
know what I did?
No.
What?
Well, you know how my brother is. He's.
Oh, I know.
I mean, they're just. It's gotta be
how am I?
perfectly clean. Well,
He's so
I mean,
fastidious.
everything has to be arranged perfectly. There can be no dust anywhere.
Absolutely.
So I told my maid a couple days ago. I said, "Yeah, my brother's coming out this weekend." So you wouldn't believe how clean this house is.
Well, she's
so
already
now
on.
what I got to do is I got to sleep in the guest room this weekend so she wouldn't think I'm screaming fire in the theater, you know?
She's already on heart medicine, isn't she? Because her son.
I mean, it's just awful what I do to this poor woman. So your
I
dog's
know.
coming out.
And by the way, Fred is not exaggerating. You just give her almost a heart attack before we get there because you're so horrible about every little thing that she's got to clean. But you're like that with the house here.
I'd like to have more of the conversation with you two, but we have to go.
Hey, by the way, I want to hear more about this Daytona 500.
It's 21 till the
Can
hour.
you
I love
bore
you,
us
honey.
some
I'll
more?
talk to you later, honey.
All right.
Goodbye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
21 till the hour here in the Imus Morning program.
Hey, listen, I got to go to work because I have to hire a couple of interns in honor of President's Day.
You were never for a long, long while. You know I love you, honey child.
Imus in the morning. 98.1 The Peak.
Imus in the morning, 2020 sports. Here's Warner Wolf.
Good morning, Warner.
Good morning, I-Man. This Imus in the Morning Sports Report brought to you by Virgin Atlantic. If you had CBS and thought you were going to see live hockey this morning, you lost.
Oh, man.
And the U.S. lost to Sweden 4-2, 29 saves and great goaltending by New York Islanders goaltender Tommy Salo, playing for Sweden.
Out to the point to Suter. He winds and he drives one, and a save made by Salo. Rebound, Guerin, save made. Rebound, Kachuk, save. Rebound, Guerin tries to poke at it, but Salo able to sit on top of it. Tommy Salo able to keep that puck out of the Swedish goal.
Gary Cohen, CBS Radio. But here's the bottom line. Even if you lose, you're still in the playoffs. There are only 8 teams in the Olympics, and everybody's in the quarterfinals. That's right. That's the way it works. Canada 5, Belarus nothing. Patrick Waugh, 19 saves. Men's downhill racing won by 31-year-old Jean-Luc Cretier, a minute 50.11 seconds. Finishing 12th was Tommy Moe. Curly and Larry were 13th. Speaking of curly, men's curling, the U.S. team beat Britain 6-3. However, the medal may be withdrawn because the U.S. lead broom sweeper has been checked for steroids.
Shut up.
The Dallas Cowboys, passing on big-name coaches like George Seifert, Sherman Lewis, and Terry Donahue, selected relatively unknown 46-year-old Steelers offensive coordinator Chan Gailey, whose only previous experience at head coaching was the Birmingham Firebirds of the World League and Little Samford University of Alabama. Chan's pick is number 1 assistant, Key Luke. The on-again, off-again, on-again Nets-Orlando-Toronto trade is apparently off again.
Uh-oh.
Only 3 things are holding up the deal.
What?
The Nets' Kendall Gill refuses to go to Toronto.
Right.
Orlando's Penny Hardaway refuses to go to New Jersey.
Right.
And Toronto's Damon Stoudemire refuses to go to Orlando. Otherwise, it's a done deal. It's in the bag. Finally, NBA last night, the Jazz down by 18 in the third quarter, came back, beat the Celtics 118-133 for Karl Malone. And the Denver Nuggets winning streak is over at 1.
Oh, man.
The Nuggets lost to the Kings 87-84. The Nuggets dropped to 5-43. Change the rule. Here it is.
Okay.
Now,
Let me get it down.
if you can't win 6 games by Passover, you're out. That's it. For Imus of the Morning Sports, this is Warner Wolf.
All right, here now on the Imus of the Morning program, Rush Limbaugh. Good morning, Rush.
Where did I go wrong? The fantasy, moments away from becoming reality. A despondent Bubba on the South Lawn stand.
I'm Imus of the Morning on the I-Line at 1-800-370-IMUS. You can call me from any place in America. Here's Vinny. Good morning, Vinny.
Hi, man. I'm totally disgusted with you.
No, well,
I think you're wearing silk panties these days.
Why?
With the days of the week on them, embroidered on them. You're pitiful.
Let me check.
You better
hang on.
because
Hang on, let me check.
Yeah, hold it.
Wednesday.
So you're wrong again. Are they thongs?
What are you upset?
Probably are.
What are you upset about?
Well, here you are. You don't want the Secret Service to testify
No.
to the president's illegal activities.
No.
Why?
No.
They're the only watchdog that the president may even have.
No. What illegal activities?
Well, his possible legal activities, allegedly.
I mean, whether all they can testify to, they're not going to be able to testify to whether the president asked Monica Lewinsky to lie. They'll only be able to testify if he was with her.
Yeah, porking her.
If he was porking her. I don't think we can have that. In fact, I know we can't.
You're like an old washwoman waffling every day. You waffled on Marshall Lewis the other day. Katzenberg last night. What's wrong with you? Whatever happened to the man who climbed the flagpole years ago?
I greatly resent this attack.
Well,
Way to go, Vinny.
Yeah. Well, I think everybody else is going to be attacking you, too, if you gave them the chance to.
I want you
another thing.
to say you're sorry for attacking. I see.
Negative. It won't happen.
I am trying to. I'm trying to be fair here, Vinny. You meathead.
Hey, listen.
Yeah, baby.
Why were you in the room last night with Katzenberg hiding behind the VP because he's scared of Elton John? What kind of shit is that?
Vinny, you can't swear on the radio.
It's in the Bergen
You gotta behave yourself. You're not sitting around at the Bernard said at the Bergen Hunting Fish Club talking to John Gotti Jr. What are you, nuts? Are you still there, Vinny?
We could take care of you also. You're waffle here. And don't worry about mentioning those kind of people on the radio because you're not supposed to. Low profile, you understand?
Be quiet.
Hey, Vinny, I'll take anchovies on the next one, all right?
That's right. And double cheese and hurry up, you meathead.
Imus. 98.1. The Peak is WPEK, Seneca, Greenville, Spartanburg, Anderson. For news, talk, and sports on FM.
I'm David Hall. While U.S. Defense Secretary William Cohen was getting a stern public warning from his Russian counterpart, behind closed doors, Cohen says officials in Moscow understand Washington's position on Iraq.
This, again, is a perfect example of how we can have disagreements on various issues, but that our relationship is one that transcends any specific issue.
Russia's been spearheading diplomatic efforts to resolve the standoff with Baghdad peacefully, while Washington warns that time is running out. CNN military analyst, retired General Perry Smith, says a military strike appears likely now.
Monica Lewinsky. It will run at least a few days and could run a bit longer than that with a lot of precision ordnance. So it's a very different air campaign than we saw in 1991, a different kind of a targeting philosophy, as well as the ability to knock out targets with precision ordnance more quickly and more accurately.
U.S. adding 6 more stealth bombers to its arsenal this week. Former White House intern Monica Lewinsky's attorney accuses independent counsel Ken Starr of torturing his client and her mother. Marsha Lewis answering questions before the grand jury investigating sexual misconduct allegations for 7 hours yesterday. It is still not clear when her daughter might appear. President Clinton is on the road today. He'll be pushing for new tobacco legislation during a speech in Philadelphia, disclosing some new statistics on teen smoking as well. Aides say that he'll be making a pitch for his fiscal 1999 budget proposals. United Auto Workers Union has announced a tentative contract settlement with Caterpillar, ending a 6-year labor battle. The agreement was disclosed on the first day of official talks after weeks of behind-the-scenes work. Details of the new agreement will not be revealed until union members get a chance to vote on the contract next week. This is CNN Radio News.
iOmega asks, what's on your Jazz Drive?
Okay, I really can't tell you that. It's corporate. It's very sensitive.
So, it's important stuff.
Maybe.
And it's all safe on iOmega Jazz discs.
Geist is a regular commentator for Sunday morning. That show with Charles Osgood, who has put on some significant weight, by the way. Did you notice that?
Mr. Osgood has put on a ton.
Man, come on, baby. Mr. Geist works on the CBS Evening News, 48 Hours. He wrote the New York Times bestseller, Little League Confidential. His latest book, The Big 5-0, Facing, Fearing, and Fighting 50, is published by William Morrow. Good morning, Mr. Geist.
Good morning, man. How are you?
Fine, baby. How are you?
Good.
So are you having a Martha Stewart holiday around your house?
Yes. We had a piece on Sunday on takeoff on Martha Stewart, where she tells everybody to go out in the backyard and make a wreath out of whatever they find in the backyard. Mm-hmm. We found kind of an old tennis ball, a Budweiser can, different things like that, and made them for the folks at home.
Well, didn't you think, I didn't see that, Charles would tell me about that piece, but it's impossible to, if you were going to implement anything that Martha Stewart suggested, would take a cast of about 100 folks, wouldn't it?
Exactly. I think she has 150 people that help her out. She flew in a guy from San Francisco to decorate her Christmas tree for her. We opted for the mailman. Came in. He luckily had some cheese whiz and some dryer lint. We made a very festive looking tree.
Where are you this morning?
I'm out in beautiful New Jersey, the Garden State.
Are you on your car phone? It sounds funny. Why does it sound funny, Bernard?
Cheap phone. Sneaker phone, I think Bill has.
Bill Guy has a sneaker phone. What did you make of the deal? Did you care anything about... How's your book doing, by the way?
It's doing real well. It was held back a little bit by the Diana books, of course. But I think we discussed that before. The profiteers from Diana's demise, and Elton John being one of them. Have you got his CD yet?
No, I missed out on that one.
I maintain Elton was one step from Branson when that car went in the tunnel.
For some reason, I don't know. I was watching VH1 for some reason. They had a retrospective of Mr. John's career, and it's a very depressing saga. God almighty, this guy.
It is. I kind of liked him early on,
but you are right. He was one step from. But I love the induction ceremonies at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame when Axl Rose said that he was inspired to found Guns N' Roses when he heard Benny and the Jets, and I thought, is there something I missed during that period? Or
it's like we're doing a wrap up now. We're looking at tapes from the year, and we just saw. Speaking of inspiration, we saw a tape yesterday where Nelson Mandela was standing at a press conference with the Spice Girls and said they were his heroes. Mandela families run into some difficulty lately.
Yeah, they have. No wonder he wanted to stay in prison for 27 years, being married to. Well, she's got to be the original boogie woman, doesn't she?
Married to a murderer. Please don't let me out.
What'd you make of this business over the president's dog? I mean, that's.
Well, it was quite interesting. I felt badly for Tim, of course.
Tim Russell, yeah. Well, I'm sure you did.
Saw the choke chain on the dog and thought they were going to name it Latrell.
Well, we're very loyal to Russell, of course.
Oh, yeah. No, he's wonderful.
Yeah, but, man, how foolish. And then, of course, yesterday, that jerk McCurry makes fun of Russell. But what Mike McCurry should remember is that people like you and Tim Russell are going to be around long after he's gone.
Yeah. No, he's great. I think, of course, you had Geraldo on. You got to be careful over there if you make a slip up at NBC. You got Geraldo right behind you, ready to take over and put lactose intolerant lesbian nuns on Meet the Press.
Man, there are some people very touchy at NBC News, particularly my friend Mr. Brokaw. I don't know if he's touchy or not, but I asked him if he envisioned Geraldo filling in on the NBC Nightly News. He said, I thought he was going to have a stroke,
I know it. It's tough.
And Geraldo,
you had Geraldo on your show, though, right?
Yeah, well, he's been a friend of mine for 25 years.
Yeah.
I don't hang out with him, but I mean, I like him and I would remain loyal to him. But I mean, Geraldo doesn't help himself when he analogizes his coming to NBC to that of Wade Boggs leaving the Boston Red Sox going to the Yankees.
Right, exactly.
Were he more of a fan, he might have employed Babe Ruth, but he probably didn't know that. Wade Boggs was the only one he could think of. So, but then maybe he and Wade had something in common, and they both
that's right.
couldn't remain loyal to their wives, I guess. We're talking with Bill Geist. Mr. Geist works for CBS News, and his book, The Big 5-0, really is laugh out loud funny, and it's available, obviously, at bookstores everywhere. It's published by William Morrow. Or you could get it at Encore Books. I bet you could get it at 40% off at Encore Books. I bet you might be able to.
Probably so.
Does that eat into my cut?
No, it doesn't.
Oh, good.
When my brother and I's book, Two Guys, Four Corners, whenever a book, as you obviously know, you've had books on the New York Times bestseller list. When a book goes on the New York Times bestseller list, Barnes & Noble, and places like Encore Books, and even Amazon.com, they immediately discount bestsellers 30 or 40%.
Right.
And you can always tell when somebody says something to you who's never been to a bookstore in their life except to buy your book. They think that it's like when they discount it 30%, it's like your book has gone into the Kmart dump bin. Like, well, I got your book at 30%, like it's bad,
But yard sales are bad.
Yeah, exactly.
When you see them at yard sales for 50 cents, that's tough.
Maureen Dowd had a couple of columns that were fairly funny, and so did Frank Rich about Al Gore.
Oh, yeah.
Claiming that he and his wife were the inspiration for these two hideous characters in the love story.
Actually, he was the inspiration for a chair in the book. Some of the furniture, I think.
Frank pointed out that what was interesting about it was how culturally tone deaf, Frank's phrase, Al Gore is to think that that's hip to be, I guess.
Love story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like claiming you inspired the Captain and Tennille. So I don't know. What else is new with you?
Not much. I've been following the TV epilepsy thing over in Japan. We're getting ready to go to Japan for the Olympics, so I'm kind of keeping a close watch on everything that's going on in Japan. Did you see that, where the kids freaked out when they watched the show. I get that when I watch Geraldo, actually. TV epilepsy. But I love the name of the show was Pocket Monsters, which I think I saw playing in Times Square.
Pocket Monsters?
They're like trouser bass.
Oh, yeah. Why didn't you think of that, McCoy?
I don't know. Long Dong Silver in Pocket Monsters.
So, well, these Japanese kids are watching a television program, right? And then several hundred of them had to be taken to the hospital?
Exactly. Like I say, it happened.
Man.
It happened on Geraldo's show.
What will you be doing during the Olympics?
It's hard to say. I don't know. It depends on if there's any snow over there or not. There's a little debate about whether they're going to have snow this year. Might have to change some of the events.
Well, because the El Nino deal, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, you've been watching Dan on the El Nino.
Yes, I have the El Nino watch.
Yeah, he's more or less fixated on that.
Well, it's like Dan Rather is the program of record for El Nino, much as Geraldo was the program of record for the O.J. Simpson.
That's right. I think he'll blame the Plano hostage situation on El Nino in some way.
Did you happen to see Rather on Larry King last night?
I saw, as a matter of fact, I turned on your show earlier, and I saw you playing that clip. I don't know what to say about that.
We just can't do
Being
that.
a loyal CBS employee.
Yeah, I know. We just can't comment on that.
It's hard it's hard to know what to say about something like that.
So there's a chapter in the Big 5-0, your book, on turning Republican.
Yes.
And we have the presidential election coming up. How's that going to impact on you, or is it?
Well, the presidential election coming up, you mean in 3 years?
Yeah.
I don't know. As I said in the book, I almost voted Republican last time, thinking that Dole, like Gotti, was a finer human specimen than Clinton. But I don't know. Somebody gave my book to Hillary for her birthday, and she was supposed to send me a thank you note, and never did because there were a lot of snotty things said about the Clintons in the book. But no, there are various signs for when you're turning Republican. If you find yourself remarking on Hillary's calves a lot, that's another sign.
Yeah. The substantial calves that they are, aren't they? We're talking with Bill Geist, and they're segregating. I'm just throwing out little topics here, and if you have any comment. If not, that's fine. Segregating men and women during. Were you in the Army or anything?
Yes, I was. I was a photographer in the Army.
Oh, you were?
Yeah, I was in Vietnam. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I didn't see any women over there. That's why it's always amazing to me when they build monuments to the Vietnam veterans, the women in Vietnam. I didn't see one the whole time I was there.
How did you wind up as a photographer?
I lied.
You did?
Said I was supposed to be watch radio dials for a year, and I thought I'd go crazy doing that, so I opted for the photography. And then, of course, much to my chagrin, found out that unlike writing stories, the writers could hang out in Saigon and drink cocktails and make up the stories, but the photographers actually had to go out in the field, which was not good.
And actually be there and take the photograph.
Yeah, I hated that part.
You still do any of that?
Some. I enjoyed your book, by the way, very much.
Thank you.
I'm certain that you didn't take all those photographs, did you?
Yeah, I took. Well, my brother and I did.
Yeah.
I took them all.
Remarkable photographs. They really are.
Thank you very much. So, Janet Reno, Louis Free, Maureen Dowd has a funny observation about during their testimony there before the House. Was it Dan Burton? Mm-hmm. One of the dumber people ever to wear a suit.
Yes.
God, what a moron. I mean, it's just, oh, Jesus. And then Tom Lantos, who is, who's from the Dan Rather School, there's any moment it's going to explode on you. But Maureen Dowd said it looked as though Mr. Freed was about to jump in Janet Reno's lap.
Yeah.
I don't know. You have any thoughts on any of that, or do you care?
Well, that one, I don't know. That one's Janet. I think that Janet Reno's a hopeless case, so we kind of turned to the dog story and things like that. It occurred to me that Clinton might have thought that by getting a dog, he could train the dog to herd women to the White House.
Well, he needed to get one of those Shelleys.
Yeah, I think he got the wrong kind.
Well, I hope, Charles, will tell me about your Christmas wreath that you put together from an old pizza box, and you said earlier. No?
Yeah, we'd used a pizza box, put a beer can and a tennis ball on it, and some air fresheners from the car wash, those Christmas tree, makes them smell nice.
For the pine scent.
Yeah.
It was laugh out loud.
Had to hang that baby outside.
Yeah.
Don't bring those in the house. What is it with air fresheners anyway?
Well, I don't know.
The whole nation seems to have gotten under air fresheners now. it our diet? What's the problem?
I have no idea. To herd women to the White House, huh?
Possibly. It's a little shelty.
Happy holidays, Bill.
Thank you very much. You too.
Yeah, Bill Geist from CBS News. Mr. Geist book, The Big 5-0, published by Willie Morrow. It is funny. It's available at bookstores everywhere, and it makes a great gift. You could give this to Keith Richards. Mr. Richards is 54 today. So. Or you could give it to Steven Spielberg, who in fact is 50 today. Yeah. So, anyway, it's published by William Morrow. It's available at bookstores everywhere.
Wrong dog. White House. Jeez.
Pocket monsters. Huh?
A lot of people seek immortality through religion. You know, that's the big one. You believe in God, and though your body may pass, your spirit, the essence of you, will ascend into the heavens where it will dwell for eternity. That's a neat program. I wish I could sign up. But I can't. The person I am, this thing in here, could never make that leap of faith. And I was 8 years old when that first dawned on me. I was sitting in the basement of the Woodville Baptist Church when our Sunday school teacher said the oddest thing. Very nonchalantly, she threw this in, and then Jesus changed the water into wine. And I raised my hand and said, how? She said, well, Ricky, it's a miracle. You know, God can do anything. You have to believe that to get to heaven. And I couldn't believe it. I couldn't even believe that other people believed it. What I believed in at 8 is what I believe in at 39, science. I think that things are explainable. Will you show me any kind of scientific principle that even comes close to explaining the changing of water into wine? Some sort of Chardonnayization process, you know?
Imus in the morning.
Imus in the morning, 2020 sports. Let's go to the audio tape.
Earnhardt uses the lap car of Rick Bass as a pick. 20 years of trying, 20 years of frustration. Dale Earnhardt will come to the caution flag to win the Daytona 500. Finally.
Mike Joy, the call from CBS Sports is yes, indeed. Dale Earnhardt finally does win down at Daytona. Good morning. I'm Joe Tollison. Imus in the Morning Sports, sponsored by your local old.
Oh, and Fred will be appearing this morning with nothing. He has nothing. We already know that.
What's new?
So exactly. You see what Bernard says? What's
now, you can't prejudge that. You might be totally wrong.
I guarantee he has nothing, and I guarantee he's tired. Probably.
Well, then I say, then he's extending himself even to do this thing.
Yeah. My brother's appearing on behalf of your Tri-State Jeep and Eagle dealers because he and Francesa and Warner picked a bunch of football games on Friday, and my brother was wrong on 5 of them, weren't you?
Yes, I was.
Okay.
The Sound of Music, that starts with a T.
There you go. And you said he had nothing.
Did you get an answer, Bernard?
I got the River and the Moose Murders.
No, it's
no.
The rest of the idiots.
Out loud.
No, it was called. Well, I don't know.
I can't recall.
It's not a the, you idiots.
It's a T. Can't argue with that.
Bastards. What are you laughing about, Lou?
That sounds so stupid, and you're yelling at them for giving you.
Well, you bastards, don't you? Some of you bastards. There's 15 million of it. Doesn't one of you know? God Almighty. It's irritating. It's not Howard Stern's audience. People are supposed to have some sense here. Twin cities.
City of Angels.
No, City of Angels. You idiot.
Frank Rich. Sorry, Frank, that's not right.
No, it's not. It was the City of Angels.
Call you an idiot, Mr.
It was before City of Angels. It was
before City of Angels.
The thing Larry Gelbart did.
Larry Gelbart did it. Can I put Frank up?
Yeah.
Stand by.
Good morning,
5.
Mr. Rich.
Yeah, it's probably be insane. It is City of Angels.
That's what I thought.
Larry Gelbart wrote it. Kinky Friedman wrote a.
Okay.
That's what I told you.
Idiot.
You
moron.
Well, what was the thing?
Damn it. Well, you're a moron.
What was the other thing that? The other thing you were talking about?
Bastards.
The other thing I was talking about.
Not City of Angels, but it had angels in it. Angels in America.
Angels in America.
Okay, that's why I got confused.
Right. There were a couple of years of.
God.
I apologize.
No, it was like a hangnail. It was driving me crazy to hear you struggling. It was definitely a City of Angels.
Thank you, Mr. Rich.
Thank you very much, Mr. Rich.
Thank you very much, Mr. Rich. Frank Rich here in the Iverson Morning Program. Well, it was City of Angels, yes.
Very good, Chuck.
What did I tell you?
Oh, man.
No, not City of Angels. Idiot.
Okay, I apologize. I was wrong.
Has a T in it.
I apologize. I apologize to you. Listening to the radio, I'm sorry I swore at you and called you an idiot. It was City of Angels. That's what it was. Well, I remember. I mean, it all rode on whether Frank liked it or not. Remember that?
Yeah, well, of course. As did everything during his tenure.
So now he's telling us he changed his mind. Anyway.
Oh,
was it the City of Angels?
Yes.
Yes, Fred.
What?
Anyway, my brother, hey, Fred, all the new stuff, all of your new products
Yes.
are up on the webpage.
Yes.
And you can click on it, all the new product menu up and running, Autobody Express, all one word.com. And Deidre models a lot of the stuff for us, graciously agreed to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And also, Joseph Abboud graciously agreed to do the same.
Yeah.
Have you seen the pictures of Mr.
Speaking
Abboud,
of
Fred?
City of Angels.
Oh, man, isn't that scary?
He's about to combustibly go on fire.
I mean, I don't think you can have Joseph Abboud wearing one of these denim vests that are kind of a macho situation.
What was he sitting on? A butt plug?
Oh, man, wait a minute.
We're not looking for that.
That's not what we're going
That's not what we're looking for,
Why do
Fred.
we have these 10 o'clock meetings?
We can't go from Frankwich to that.
I'm being censored by MSNBC.
Pardon me?
I'm being censored by MSNBC.
Why?
Because I turned the rest of my turkey over to the bear.
Right.
And he's not being very nice with the turkey.
Oh, I see. I see. I think we have a picture of it now.
Well, now, wait a minute. Maybe he's being very nice to the turkey. What are you talking about?
Yeah, maybe he loves that turkey.
Go, baby.
So anyway, so that's the big news this morning, Frank Rich and Maureen Dowd. It's idiotic to have these two people. I don't care what Frank says, he's wrong.
No, he is wrong about that.
He's definitely wrong.
About the Saturday deal.
People he knows that don't have anything to do, and they're all sitting around, sipping cappuccino or drinking their Bloody Marys on Saturday.
Right.
Go, baby.
And they have no jobs or anything. And of course they can read the New York Times, but nobody else has time to read
No
it.
real people.
No, not people like Chuck and I. We don't have
like
time.
the Iron Man.
We have errands to run.
Saturday's a work day. Come on.
That's exactly right. You have to go to the laundry, have to go to cleaners, at the hardware store.
Absolutely.
Check with Greg at Spick and Span. Call.
Fix the boiler.
That's exactly right.
Fix the boiler.
Clean out the
I had to walk down to the drugstore yesterday, buy some gum.
Look at that.
So look at that. So a lot of things had to be done.
Hey, look, there's the Iron-Man.
It's 14.
I think he's going to the liquor store.
Hey, look, there's the Hi-Man.
Baba Booey.
So,
my picks weren't very good.
No, they
the
weren't.
Jets are over with. I mean, you can only pump up a team so much.
Yes.
The coach can only pump a team up so much.
Yeah.
And this time of year, the cream rises to the top.
Yeah.
The Jets will not win another game.
No, they won't.
And they'll go 1-15 next year. I mean, you can pump them up so much, they
won't go 1-15 next year.
They'll
They'll
do better.
They'll do better. He'll turn that into a winning franchise, but it's over this year.
Then he's got to get somebody who wants to play. Then.
Well, he will. Talking about Bill Parcells. I was reading the paper Saturday. Chris Sims, who is the son of Phil Sims, 16 years old. He's already 6'4", 220 pounds.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Plays quarterback for the Ramapo High School football team. He's a junior, 16 years old. And they won something, the state championship or something.
He's a talented.
And his dad is terrific on television.
Really is, isn't he?
He's fabulous. Yeah. He's a natural. Mm-hmm. Phil Sims, former quarterback, a great quarterback. Tough guy, too. Doesn't look like a tough guy, but man.
Believe me,
he was.
Jeez.
And I used to love to watch him drop back and throw the football.
Yeah. And miss him.
But now he works for NBC. No, he wasn't missing them.
Oh, I said, and we missed him.
And the receiver dropped the ball.
No, we miss him.
Oh, okay. And he now works for NBC Sports as a football announcer. And he does a jet show with Bill Parcells, in which he's great.
Yep, following in OJ's footsteps. Former player makes good at NBC.
What kind of shoes he wears?
I don't know, but I don't think Phil Simms, you can describe Phil Simms as following, and that's idiotic.
Let's get some good photos of Phil Simms' shoes now. Let's not wait. Let's really find out what kind of shoes he's wearing.
Let's learn from our mistakes.
That's exactly right.
Get those gloves that he wears.
That's with Lynn Swan, the rest of them.
Let's find out their gloves, the make of the gloves,
put them on file.
Let's get to. That's a very good idea, Fred. Let's get the photos now.
Don't like my peaches. Don't you shake my tree. If you don't like my peaches, don't you shake my tree. That's the way I was born. That's the way it's gonna be. But I got to get out of here.
Imus in the morning. 98.1 The Peak. WPEK.
CNN Radio News, I'm Pat St. Clair. As the standoff with Iraq over United Nations weapons inspections escalates, President Clinton is stating his case for a military strike on Iraq.
Right here on the Imus in the Morning program from the State Nervous Hospital, Billy Bob.
Well, I reckon what you're wanting to know is what I think about this presidential penis deal. I hear tell on the radio he got this thing what makes his wiener take shape like a banana. Turns way over to one side, like a real sharp off-ramp from the highway. Peyronie's disease. Some people call it sling blade weenie. I call it Peyronie's disease.
Yeah.
Regular Peters is usually like an axe handle. Narrow at one end, dull at the other, though some got's a little nub at the end of it. Them Jewish fellers got them deals what looks like little beanies. I reckon the reason they got them is make the little head look just like the big one. They wear them yarmulkes on their noggin, so I reckon that's why Jewish boys, when they're little babies, go to this Moyle feller, so they's can get a beanie on their weenie.
Fine.
Some people call it a circumcision. Jewish fellers call it a bris. I call it somebody taking a concert blade and whacking off a piece of your Peter. Which sound to me a whole lot worse than that Peyronie deal. Though I reckon it could be a mighty inconvenient for you if you got a pecker what ain't a pointing in the same direction as you're pointing. Especially when you're having your way with a woman. She'd have to stand in the next room.
Fine, Carl.
I guess it wouldn't be so bad if a curving like that gave it special powers. Like a divining rod.
Yeah.
It'd be good if the president could use his Peyronie baloney to find precious minerals with it, or water. He could make himself a little extra money, which he's probably gonna need once this Paula Jones finally gets him into court. Thing about it is, his divining rod don't point him towards precious minerals, but it does seem like it always ends up finding him in hot water.
Imus in the morning. 98.1 The Peak.
My life a wreck, now complete, and I love you so. Love me tender, love me true, all my dreams fulfill. For my darling, I love you, and I always will.
Imus in the morning.
Clean shower is amazing. After the last Victor Chambers, the biography, nominated for a National Book Award.
Why?
Fabulous.
No, real. Why are you?
Because
I just don't care anymore.
Because
I don't care anymore.
Because because I was reading Alan Weinstein's Perjury, and there are about 3 questions, and then I'm going to drop the Hiss Chambers thing. I read Nixon's account of the Hiss case in 6 Crises last night.
What in the heck has happened to you?
It's a fascinating...
what in God's name has happened?
I don't know. It's a fascinating case, I'm telling you. Hey, you know what I also read part of? Seymour Hersh's The Dark Side of Camelot. I was reluctant to read it, thinking it was like a Kitty Kelly deal.
It's not.
No, it's not.
It really isn't. No.
Until I read a review in the New York Times book review.
Oh, man.
And suggesting that Mr. Hersh had taken a hit from Kennedy loyalists and other people seeking to dismiss these allegations in The Dark Side of Camelot, because apparently Mr. Hersh bought into the Marilyn Monroe, John Kennedy letters scam.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, that's
Well,
fine.
see, part of the controversy was that Nixon wrote in Six Crises, and I have this first edition.
You don't need to go into it
Well, let me
now.
just tell you briefly. Nixon said, because when this was published in 1962, the Hiss forces seized on this as evidence of this conspiracy, because Nixon wrote that in here that the FBI had found. What's the matter?
I can't listen.
Well, let me tell you. Just let me tell you. Please let me tell you.
I can't listen anymore.
Well, this is good. Nixon wrote that the FBI had found the typewriter, and that's not what happened. But the Hiss forces all charged there'd been this big conspiracy. Do you see what I'm saying?
He's got pictures of you doing something that's Tannenhouse.
I'm Go ahead. Hurry up. Get it.
Well, that's enough. That's all. And then Nixon claimed that it was a researcher's error. And I simply wanted to ask Sam Tannenhouse
what
if he believed Nixon.
The hell
And he said yes, he did.
Does it make? What difference does it make who found what when?
Well, because the Hiss people seized on this.
Well, who cares what the Hiss people seized on? What difference does it make?
Well, because
you said you promised.
Yeah.
You promised an hour ago,
right?
Almost exactly an hour ago,
right?
That you were going to drop this. That there was one more telephone call and 2 questions to Sam Tannenhouse, and you were going to drop.
Right.
Whitaker Chambers, Alger Hiss.
Or just reprising what had happened.
Don't reprise this. Don't reprise anything. You said you were going to drop it.
Okay.
Well, drop it then.
I haven't.
You haven't. You obviously haven't dropped it. You're still waving the damn books around.
I understand that.
Do you understand? You have driven us crazy with this crap.
Yes,
we're sick of it.
Fine.
They're dead. Whitaker Chambers is dead. Alger Hiss is dead. Richard Nixon is dead. I wish I were dead. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it now. Stop it. For God's sake, stop.
Okay, fine.
Stop it.
Let me just say.
No. Shut up. Jesus. Stop it. Really, I'm begging you, stop it.
Oh, fine. I just was glad to learn that it didn't make any difference. You know, you're right.
I'm scared.
Okay, I'll stop.
Look how many, look.
All right, I'll stop. All right, here now on the Imus in the Morning program, legendary New York City rock and roll DJ Scott Muni. Scotzo.
Oh, Tannenhouse, Sam Tannenhouse, forgive me if I whine, man. But Tannenhouse, Sam Tannenhouse, you fascinate the eye, man. You can't believe how tedious is droning on about Alger Hiss. Sam Tannenhouse, call Random House. Your next book's on consign, man. You know, Fats, after listening to you talk about Whitaker Chambers for so long, I actually find myself wishing he were still alive, just so I could have the satisfaction of killing him myself. What the hell is the deal with this Rupert Pupkin-like obsession of yours with that fat commie homo from the 50s? Squeaky Fromm wasn't this devoted to Charlie Manson. John Hinckley wasn't this infatuated with Jodie Foster. And you know, he had a thing for a book about a guy from the 50s, except his wasn't Whitaker Chambers, it was Holden Caulfield. Never in my life have I ever seen someone so fixated on something so lame. You're like one of those mouth-breathing internet geeks who show up at Star Trek conventions wearing those plastic pointy ears. Do you think anybody else gives a about what kind of typewriter Alger Hiss had? Or what the serial number was? The FBI didn't care that much about Ted Kaczynski's typewriter. And speaking of them, I would have thought, given his wardrobe choice, that the fat homo you'd really have the morbid fascination with would have been J. Edgar Hoover, considering your experience in the Marines with guys who like to wear high heels and a garter belt with their chiffon dress blues. But Whittaker Chambers taking Nixon back to the farm to show him what he had stuffed in a pumpkin, that's only interesting in that he wasn't trying to stuff his zucchini in Nixon's pumpkin. I've heard you raving about books before. The Amelia Earhart thing springs to mind. And although by the time you were done humping it, I couldn't have been happier her plane went down, at least I didn't feel like your enthusiasm was dangerous. But on this Tannenhouse deal, you're so far gone that if he just said the word, you'd chug a Dixie cup of Jim Jones-flavored Kool-Aid in a heartbeat. Wait a minute. Maybe that wouldn't be such a bad thing after all.
From Washington, D.C., news center of the world, Mutual brings you the most revealing half hour in radio. Meet the Press, America's press conference of the air. Here in person to give you the answers to some of the questions you would ask is Whittaker Chambers.
The reporters who will question Mr. Chambers are Tom Reynolds of the Chicago Sun-Times, Eddie Folliard of the Washington Post, and Nat Finney of the Minneapolis Star and Tribune, both Pulitzer Prize winners, and Larry Spivak, editor of the American Mercury. Mr. Spivak.
Mr. Chambers, at best, what do you hope your testimony before the Un-American Committee is going to accomplish?
I hope that my testimony before the Un-American Committee will help to drive communists out of the government and to drive underground communism into the open.
Mr. Reynolds.
Why is it that your similar testimony, which you have already said has been to the same effect before the FBI, had no such effect?
That is a question which is more properly put to someone else, I think.
Well, sir, you are insinuating then that the FBI has not done its job.
I am not insinuating any such thing.
Well, gentlemen, you're not running out of questions, but we're running out of time. It would seem that we have not exactly solved the problem of communism in half an hour here, but it was a good try. The thanks of the Mutual Network to you, Mr. Whittaker Chambers, and to my colleagues of the press.
Imus in the morning. 98.1 The Peak.
Watched Jeopardy, this game show on television.
Yeah, great show.
But this week they're in Washington D.C. and they're having Washington D.C. people on.
It's Washington Power Week,
Washington Power Week on Jeopardy. And last night, Catherine Cryer.
Yeah.
And for some reason, Tom Clancy, the novelist who writes those really unreadable, stupid books. And just idiotic, infantile, insipid novels about junk. And Tim Russert.
Mm-hmm.
And they ask questions that I can answer.
The first president, he is called the father of our country. George Washington.
Yeah, those kinds of questions. I mean, they were asking the questions last night, and I got, well, some of them I didn't know, but I got most of them. The snakes I didn't get. I missed a couple of those.
Most of them were
most of them I could get.
Yeah.
Now I can understand if Charles could get them or Bernard or something, but I got them, or Lou even. I got them. So at the end of the, I don't want to explain the game to you because maybe you know, but at the end of the game, Tom Clancy, and meanwhile Russert can't answer anything.
He's just standing there.
And then and a couple of times Russert was wrong.
On easy ones.
Here's what Russert missed a question having to do with Jim Wright being expelled from the House of Representatives. He missed that question.
Hello.
Catherine Cryer beat him to the answer to that question. He missed a question on Lou Gehrig, right?
I think so.
And then a couple of questions he just had wrong.
Yeah.
So at the end of the game, Tom Clancy has around $12,000.
He's run away with it, kind of.
He's blown everybody away.
Yeah.
Catherine Cryer has around $6,500, and Russert has $3,000.
And it's just standing there with his mug.
And it just and his son there, little Luke, is there.
Yeah.
And little Luke and his friends, of course, watch Jeopardy. And Luke has got to be under his seat thinking, "My dad is a fat loser.
He's a fat idiot."
I'm sure little Luke loves his father, and he should. And Tim's a great dad. But I mean, last night he was a fat loser. So then, for some reason, they have a final question.
Final Jeopardy.
Final Jeopardy, I guess it's called, right?
That's what it's called.
And this was about flags, and they ask a question, and you have to write that you can wager a portion of the money you have won to that point, or all of it if you want. The question was, what animal was on the post office flag before the eagle? And so Russert gambled all of his money, $3,000. Catherine Cryer gambled all of her money, around $6,500. And Tom Clancy gambled all of his money, around $11,700. And Russert was right. It was a horse, right?
Yes.
Catherine Cryer guessed
nothing.
She
didn't have a complete answer.
She didn't have a complete answer. And Tom Clancy, whose father was a postman, guessed a greyhound idiot. So by default, in essence, Tim Russert wins. After being humiliated the entire evening, and David and I are watching it, and we're pulling for Russert, obviously.
Oh, sure.
We don't want Russert to. He's our guy. We don't want him. And I'm humiliated. But this buffoon. Now Russert's not a dumb guy, but God Almighty, he just looked like an idiot.
You wouldn't know it from
It was humiliating. So Russert, it would be like a heavyweight championship fight, and in the 12th round, the guy knocks himself out. Well, that's what happened to Catherine Cryer and this geek nerd Tom Clancy. So Russert wins. What is he? By default, he backs into it.
Yeah.
And what does he do? He pumps his fist and goes like this, giving a thumbs up to. It was so embarrassing. It was just, oh, God. I mean, it made your skin crawl. Why was he doing that?
You lucked out, fatso.
God, after, and the poor Luke's got to go to school today, and the kids have recognized his dad's a fat loser, and he backed into this thing.
They're going to be on him.
God almighty. Luke probably put himself up for adoption.
You big dunce.
Like some big goal line stand that he just been successful.
He spent the whole night. It's a half-hour program. He spent the whole half hour being humiliated. Well, yes, he won, but he should, and it's fine. And he won fair and square.
Right.
But he just should have gracefully accepted this victory.
Nodded.
But not pumping your fist. Like this, the thumb up, which is stupid.
Like Rocky comes back.
Oh, God, what a nightmare.
Like you ended up with $30,000 or something.
Yeah, exactly. So he wound up with $6,000, which is probably the smallest amount that anybody's ever won on that program, right? You couldn't possibly win less. All right, here now, Media Watch.
And good night.
Tim Russert, the Washington Bureau Chief for NBC News, and host of Meet the Press. And he's here this morning. Good morning, Mr. Russert.
Good morning, Mr. Bo, or is it Peep? I'll never forget that day. I was on vacation.
You were?
First one in a long time, and you were on vacation.
Yeah.
And the news came out, and I hear the initial reports. A shriveled up old eunuch was found dead. I said, could it be? And can you imagine the disappointment when they pulled that shroud off? It's not cowboy boots or an auto body shirt, it's Nikes.
If your radio sounds funny in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the morning.
Why are you so disapproving of the marriage of Alan Greenspan and Andrea Mitchell?
I'm not.
Just because there's a 21-year difference. I know you like it 25.
Imus in the morning.
Party time in South Florida. Good
Watch your
morning.
wallet.
Mike Brayton with sports. The World Series champion Marlins honored all day yesterday. A great day for the fans and the players and the coaches. Marlins manager Jim Leyland became emotional again, talking about how far he's come to get to the World Series. Leyland remembered hardships from his childhood.
I had one pair of pants to go to school in with the leather patches on the knee, and the question was, how come I can't have another set of pants?
and look where he came. A whole bunch of pants. Getting ready for the World Series. An emotional time for Leland, but the best speech of the day given by Series MVP Levon Hernandez.
Lo quiero, Miami. Lo amo, Miami. I love you, Miami.
Huh? What else do you want him to say?
That's it. I love you, Miami. It's a nice sentiment.
Got that diamond earring?
God bless America,
Yes,
baby.
sir.
Renegotiate the Miami.
Got that 7-figure income, 8-figure, whatever.
Be doing the Lombardo all winter long.
What a country.
They also held a rally for the losers in Cleveland yesterday for the Indians. Not as many people showed up.
Lot though.
Not as many, I said. So there was
But
no
a
reason-
lot.
There was no reason to
Almost 100,000.
to contest the statement, though.
All right, fine. Go ahead.
Indians manager Mike Hargrove had to deal with a heckler during his speech to the crowd.
I told my guys this. They're a bunch of losers. I could not be more proud to be a part of a community like this. Get off the stage. I could not be more proud to be associated with a bunch of guys that absolutely stayed focused and did the absolute best they possibly could. They suck.
Well, Hargrove, as you could hear, handled it very well.
Yes, he did.
Didn't even respond to the guy.
Well, he never lost his cool.
Almost like he had made that statement and then someone had added those comments later. Huh.
NBA news, women referees. That's right, first time ever. 2 of them.
There you go, Alu.
That's wacky.
Dee Cantner and Wendy Palmer, both in their 30s, both snappy-looking dishes, I might add.
Oh, shut up.
Hey, you suck too, Mike.
What is Michael Jordan?
You suck too, Mike. Hey, Mike.
Why do you hate women?
Hey, get off the air.
Off the stage.
What does Michael Jordan think of the women refs?
Certain things you do with other referees you can't really say. Can't pat them on the butt anymore.
Buttock comments from MJ.
Wow. Well, good, great. God.
Here's one of the women refs, Wendy Palmer.
If I can go out on the court and perform and do the job, I think I have the same opportunity as any man.
Let's hope she performs.
Shut up. Oh, that's the problem.
On the court.
You really are just an idiot.
Disgraceful.
That's sports.
You're an idiot. And the other thing, too. You suck, Mike. Why don't you go down on Fraser again?
All right, I got to tell you, I'm real proud to introduce this next artist whose name's become synonymous with courage and integrity. Ladies and gentlemen, Sinead O'Connor.
Okay, turn this up. Until the philosophy which holds one race superior and another inferior is finally and permanently discredited and abandoned. Everywhere is war until there's no... Imus in the morning.
98. The last time that I was on your show, I talked about a beautiful lady, and you said she was 90 years old.
Which lady were you talking about?
Or dead. You said she was
Isn't she
dead.
dead? What did I-
It's Polly Bergen,
I
one
know
of the
that.
most beautiful ladies around.
I
Now,
never-
she's here to talk to you.
I didn't say, first of all, Miss Bergen,
Yes,
welcome to the
yes,
program,
Mr.
Polly
Imus.
Bergen. I didn't say you were dead. See, first of all, who would think that Bo Diedelman would show up with Professor Arthur Miller from Harvard and now Polly Bergen?
Nobody.
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 I mean, how unlikely. What are you doing with these two people, Miss
Well,
Bergen?
actually, I showed up because you had the Meet the Press person on this morning, and I thought that was very classy, and so I...
Because you used to go out with the host of Meet the Press, not Ellie.
And no, I used to go...
Oh, you used to go host with Jeopardy.
Jeopardy.
Were you married to him, or?
No, but we did date for a number of years, and he's one of the loveliest men I've ever
And
known.
that was
That was
What was his
30,
name?
40 years ago. Alex Trebek.
Alex
Didn't you
Trebek.
go out with Abraham?
Oh, you went out with
Lincoln
Alex Trebek?
Yes, yes, and Abraham Lincoln. But that was.
Doesn't Alex Trebek? That's a weird kind of deal. Doesn't he live with his mom or something?
No, he doesn't.
There he does.
Blow up doll.
You are a rotten human being.
No, I'm not a rotten him. Well, maybe I am.
She knows you already.
He lives with his mother, right?
Well, he takes care of his mother. He has children. He's married. He has a little child, baby.
You were going out with him when he was married?
No, I was going out with him when he was single.
Oh.
You're going to be tough like this all day. Huh?
No, I'm not. How did you wind up with these two?
Actually, they wound up with me.
They did.
Yes, just to get the order correctly.
We wanted to show you how the Chantel products worked, and this is living proof. Polly Bergen.
And she's not 90 years old.
I didn't say she was, did I?
Yes, you did.
I did?
I have it on tape.
I did.
I have it on
All right, I
tape.
said it.
It was sent to me on tape, and I was very, very upset by it, as you can tell.
Yeah.
And I flew all the way in from Los Angeles to confront you personally.
Let me take this opportunity to apologize.
No, oh, you don't have to apologize to me.
Hey, Polly, remember you used to do that
Actually,
show?
you look very well for your age. You really do.
Thank you.
Very, very
How old do you
well.
think I am?
Well, the gentleman here said that you were in your early 60s.
No, I'm not.